G'day everyone. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to download and install Netbeans and get part A of the third assignment running. So what I've done is I've just downloaded the part A folder from from Blackboard under assignment 3. You'll see that it contains a series of documents, but the key one that we're looking at this point in time is the assignment 3 folder. This contains the files that are required to build the application that's working with the SQL database. Okay, so we need to install Netbeans, and and NetBeans is relatively easy to install, but if you're running a Windows operating system, I'm pretty sure Mac does this automatically. I know Linux does it automatically. You need to install the latest version of the Java JDK, or Java Development Kit, as it's also known. So you just type in Java JDK into Google. It's the first thing that comes up, and you can actually download. There you go, download the JDK with NetBeans. I forgot about that. It's been a while since I've worked in Windows, so we might just download this file then. Okay, so now we just need to select the appropriate file. So I'm using 32-bit Windows here, so I'm going to be using Windows x86. If you're using like Windows 7 Ultra, that's 64-bit, so you'll be using this. Otherwise, you'll be using the 32-bit. If you're running Mac, obviously there's only the one Mac option to choose from, so you'll be downloading that version. And then depending upon what distro version, Linux, I'm sure if you're running Linux, you probably already know exactly what you're doing anyway. And that's not a stab at anyone else, it's just you have to muck around with it. Anyway, so I'm going to download the version that's applicable to me, which is Windows x86. Sorry, you've got to accept the license agreement first, so we'll do that. Okay, so we'll save this file. Now, I'll just see how slow or fast it's downloading. I might pause it. Okay, yeah, I'll quickly pause this video and I'll come back once it's finished downloading. Okay, so now that file has finished downloading, we're just going to install it. So just double click, just click yes, it'll be just a matter of clicking yes, next, next, and so on. So hopefully this won't take too long. I'll pause it if it starts to take too long. Yep, so just click next, accept the terms and conditions. Yep. Click next. You click uncheck that. Install. Okay, this will probably take a while, so I'll pause again and I'll come back when it's come to the next screen. Okay, so that finally finished. Hopefully it didn't take too long on your system. So you can just uncheck that, contribute to NetBeans project, blah blah blah. You can leave it if you want. And so click finish. And so now we should have NetBeans installed. Just close this down. Let's close this. Just double check. So NetBeans. So it looks like it is installed. Okay, so this is NetBeans. Don't worry if it looks scary. Believe it or not, you only just need to know a few simple commands. The first one being is that you need to know, obviously, how to open up the project. So as I mentioned before, I downloaded the Part A documents, and this is the folder that we're actually interested in. So you just need to remember wherever you've saved it. What we do is in Netbeans, we just click File, Open Project. So again, you just go to wherever it is. So going into Part A, and you'll see it actually comes up. It's got this little, I don't know if you can make it out as a coffee mug. It's identified that it's a project solution file. So you just highlight that, click Open Project. Now it might come up with an error message. Just a sec. So when I did this before, it came up with an error message because the JUnit was outdated. If that comes up, just click OK and ignore. You don't have to worry about it whatsoever. Now, in terms of running the application, all you need to know is this button here. So this is all you need in order to run the project. Okay, so if we click Run, it'll build it and it will run it. And these things will make more sense as we go into the actual application. But basically, we've just got a bookstore here, and it allows us to search via a variety of categories. So you'll see there's minimum price, maximum price, categories, like what book category it belongs to. We should default it on to none. You can search by author, by publisher, by category, or as many different combinations of those that exist. So if we click Find Book now, we see that nothing comes up. If I was to hit Search by Publisher and click Find Book, you see it comes up with incorrect SQL, and that's because we haven't written any SQL. So what I'm going to do now is go through an example, and that will be the first one, which is searching from a minimum price to a maximum price. So if you open up the assignment 3A specs, so again, if you're not sure where that is, going into the Part A folder, we're referring to this document here. So the first query says to list the titles of all the books that are in a given price range. And so we've got a test case between $60 and $80. So the first thing that you need to do is to test it out in SQLite to make sure that you're getting the right query results. So I'll just open up SQLite, which I got on my desktop. So I'll just close that as well. We don't need that at the moment. Just a sec. SQLite. Okay, so File, Open, and just go to wherever that Part A folder is. So we go to Part A, and we are opening up the bookstore database. Okay, so let's go back to the question itself. So it says list the titles of all books that are in a given price range. So let's have a look at the schema of the database. So we've got a publisher table, an author table, a book table, and a row table. Notice that in the book table we've got the book price, and so as we're searching for a book price so that it's within a given book price, we're going to be using this book table here. Okay, so it says it just wants us to list the titles of all the books that are in a given price range, and the test case is 60 to 80. Obviously, you should check it out with multiple to make sure that you're getting the right code, but this will obviously be pretty basic SQL. Select title from books where book price is greater than 60 and book price is less than 80. Okay, so let's run that query. No such table books is probably because books is lowercase. So let's run that again. Unable to execute. It could be title is lowercase. Sorry about this, guys. Tables books. Oh, sorry. It's book. And that's because, and I apologize for this, it's not title, it's book title. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll get it to print the price as well, just to make sure that we've got the right answer. And notice that we're looking for books that are between $60 and $80. And so the three books that have been brought up here is exactly right. So this is essentially part one. Well, or should I say the test case. This would be the solution to the test case for query one, which is what we've got here. Now, what we need to do though is we need to implement that for dynamic SQL. So if we have a look within here, if we run this at this point in time, we type in 6C and 80. Remember to default these as none, or else it thinks it's incorporating that into the search. Comes up with incorrect SQL. So we need to put in the dynamic SQL for it. Okay, the way in which we do that is we go back to the Part A folder. We go into the Assignment 3, the Project Solutions folder, and we see a folder called SQL. And you see we've got Query 1 up to Query 14. Query 1, which is the one that we're working with at the moment. So just you can open it in Notepad or WordPad or whatever you want. It's completely entirely up to you. I'm just going to go with a Notepad. We can then jump into SQLite Man, and we can copy this code. I'm going to copy this, and we'll have to just modify it slightly. Okay, so Control V. Now, if we save this, and we were to run this, every time we search by a price category, it's only going to give us the situation when it's between $60 and $80. Here we want to change it so that these are values which can be entered in. Now, when it comes to, there are a multitude of ways in which you can do this depending upon how you've written your application. I'm just using a string formatting in SQL, so when we want to pass in a number, like an integer, float, count, whatever it may be, you just use %s. So obviously these are both of the same type. And let's just say you wanted to pass in a string. So let's just say, for instance, it was and category is equal to, you would not put %s, you would put %s in inverted commas, single inverted commas. So that's all you need to know. Again, remember, this is written down in the sheet anyway. But here we're dealing with two separate book prices. So they're two different numerical quantities. So we've got %s and %s for both of them. So we save that. So jump back into Netbeans. We're going to, if you have the program already running, kill it and then restart it again. Okay, and let's just check to see whether or not the SQL that we just wrote is now working. So we put in our minimum price and our maximum price, 60 to 80. Remember changing these to none. And click Find Book. And we see here, we get the exact same results as what we got from the SQLite Man. And if we were to change it, so let's just say, for instance, because it might just be luck that that happened. If we select all the books between 50 and 80, we see that we get the same. We get this extra gardening book. So going back into our application, if we change this to 50, it should add the gardening book. So click that and we see that it's working. So that's what I mean by you need to, even though there's only one test case for part one that you need to do for each query, I recommend trying it with a few of them to make sure that once you've written the SQL for the application in that part A SQL folder, that it's actually doing the correct thing. Okay, so that's the first query. And so for the rest of the assignment, you need to go through, implement all the other queries. So the next one is list the titles of all the books that are of a certain type. And the part one test case is FIC or fiction. Okay, so I hope that's been informative. As I said, the SQL files that you need to work are located within this file here, within the SQL folder, which is in, say, you've got the Part A folder, Assignment 3, and then SQL. So you just complete each question individually, test it out, make sure it's working, and then once you're sure if it's working, move on to the next one. Okay, anyway, yes, if you have any questions, please email me. That's David Galea and this is, I might just type it out to make it easier. So dp_galea at hotmail.com. So any questions whatsoever, well, please email me, and I'll be going through and doing a tutorial of this as well in the next class. So I hope this was informative again, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay, thank you. Bye.